came home to make sure to push Dad over the line here. Darrell, and I'll tell you what, thank you for all the incredible support you've given the man. And Addie, I hear nothing but you've been apparently everywhere. Everywhere, making sure things get done. And Ron, I appreciate what you're doing for an awful lot of people who had good jobs and through no fault of their own found themselves caught in the middle of this god-awful recession created by the very guys who want to reclaim this seat. But we're making progress, buddy, and with your help, we're going to not only come out of this god-awful recession, we're going to come out stronger and better position than the middle class was going into this recession. Some of the happiest years of my life were spent a little bit further south of here in Syracuse and out in Lake Skaneateles where my deceased wife lived. And but I used to be a lifeguard on Ontario, a place called Sandy Pond. When I ran the first time as a 28-year-old kid, that's all he's ever been is a lifeguard and a lawyer. I enjoyed heading halfway up here every day, every weekend during the summer as the head of the lifeguards there, and I miss it. But look, I have nothing but good memories about here, and I learned a lot those years I was up here in Syracuse with my deceased wife and her family. This is a place where people look out for one another. This is a place where people can count on their neighbors. That's right. This is a place I know from my own experience that I've watched people up here. This is a place where character and integrity matters. It matters a whole lot. A place where people have strong views, but it doesn't mean they have closed minds. A place where people know what they believe, but it doesn't mean that they stop listening to another person's point of view. A place where common sense and mainstream values prevail, not extreme values, not extreme views. I've never observed anything. I'm serious. Think about this. Think about all of you up here. Think about all the folks in this district. This has never been a place that embraced extremism on the left or the right. This is a place that's incredibly pragmatic. This is a place where a lot of people work real hard, real hard. They work real hard to build their families, to build a decent circumstance where the neighborhood and the town and the community and the city are places where people are proud to live. This is a place where people with very different views are included in the debate. They're not cast aside. And that's one of the reasons why what's happening in this campaign is in a sense so strange and so important. You know, the idea that the man we picked to join the administration, a mainstream Republican, a guy who's a decent, honorable guy who's making a great contribution to the United States of America right now. The idea that Rush Limbaugh would handpick his successor is kind of unusual. You know, the most extreme wing of the Republican Party made it clear in this campaign that they weren't going to tolerate any dissent. There's sort of an absolutism. And I mean this sincerely. Even the Wall Street Journal had an editorial today saying, well, this is a good thing, but I hope Republicans don't repeat this all around the country. They went on to point out that how Democrats made mistakes offending some folks on the conservative side. I've been Joe Lieberman's friend for years and years. I argued for Joe Lieberman to stay in the party. He is in the party. But they go and use Joe Lieberman as an example, and they say they hope the Republican Party nationally doesn't learn the wrong lesson from this. That's the Wall Street Journal. I think I'm accurately paraphrasing them today. Look, folks, the idea, the day when we've got to the point, particularly in this part of the world, this part of the country, where you cannot tolerate any dissent. You know, they made it clear. They made it clear up there they would not accommodate any differing views. They made it clear they would not accept any range of views, even within their own party. Well, folks, maybe the National Republican Party has gotten to a place where they'll not tolerate any view but their neoconservative views of the world. You know, the idea that and by the way, this guy's a friend of mine, Dick Armey. Dick Armey's a Texas, very conservative guy. I would have thought the last person I'd bring up to North Country would be Dick, Armey. I mean, he's a decent guy. But he represents a view that's so alien, it seems to me, to the sort of the pragmatism of North Country. And a former Texas congressman, Sarah Palin, look, she just has her views are real. They're consistent with Army's and with Rush Limbaugh and with Dick Cheney. I mean, look, this is not. Look, these guys are entitled to their views. I no more am going to reject them out of hand, just dismiss them because the views are so different than mine, than I think they should dismiss people's who have views different than theirs. But folks, this is a different ethic. This is a different ideology. This is different than anything I've known in my 45 years of being familiar with this district. They may not have any room for moderate views in the Republican Party upstate anymore, but let me assure you, we have room. We have room. Decent thinking folks who are pragmatic Republicans, join us. We welcome you. We welcome you. We're not asking you to switch your party. We're just saying, join us in teaching a lesson to those absolutists who come and tell us that no dissent is permitted within your own party. Look, folks, as we tackle the debacle that these very people left behind, and bringing us to the brink of a depression, remember, the views of all the people I've just named were the very views that got us to the place we are. That's what got us here, folks. Instead of bringing, continuing this notion for 8 years that actually damaged our reputation and our standing around the world as well as split us at home. You're either with us or against us. You're either absolutely right or you're morally wrong. I mean, these notions are alien to everything I know about what Republicans and Democrats and independents in upstate are all about. That's never been the character of the people of this region, unless I'm totally mistaken, unless something radically has changed in the last 15 years. Look, we need to bring people together, not drive them apart, as Cheney and